research on what we've done this semester. Because we have entered in ID numbers of all the students that have attended for the events this semester. It's just finding out where that information is now within the world of computers. So, but it is being researched, and we found quite a bit of information. So other than that, I don't know. I have it here if you have any specific questions on specific events. Oh, I also have a printout of one of the senators asked me to bring a printout. Of course, I only have one copy because we don't have a copier. Kind of with the breakdown of the which big concert did we just do? Homecoming. The homecoming concert. So it kind of breaks down what kind of expenses go into a big show, and that's probably the biggest show that we've had this semester. Because that one ended up costing $22,515. So it kind of breaks down all the little types of expenses that it takes to run an event. Okay, that's enough for me.
Senator Shalom, please don't.
Okay, that's it. Thank you.
Okay. Are there any other questions? Okay, seeing no questions, we'll move into discussion. Is there any discussion? Speaker Taylor.
I guess I'm just going to, I'm really impressed that the numbers came that quickly. That was something we asked for, and I think that's what we look for in key users that are trying to attract students. As I mentioned, I was always in favor of this, and one of my good friends is actually a president of UPC at South Dakota State University. So just out of curiosity, I asked what their budget was. It's $180,000. That's more than our budget here, and they've got 10 to 11,000 less students. I realize that we're not really meeting student needs at that point, that we need to do something that will help students. South Dakota State, their UPC is also asking for an increase this year, so they'll still probably be more than us. They're asking for a large concert increase as well. So I think this is something that we need to do for our students. It's something that I think students are going to be interested in. It's going to attract students. I would encourage that the advertising is put out, and so they continue to attract new users. That's what I would stress. But I think this is something that is valuable, something that I would support, and I'm very, very impressed and happy that UPC brought this piece forward. So I went from being on the fence last week to very much in favor. So thank you.
Senator Redding.
Yes, I also am very much, very much so in favor of this, and I think it's very important to give our students the opportunity to have these events. At the same time, I would want to stress that these surveys are given out responsibly. I happen to see a UPC member give it out to kind of friends or people around them. I think it's important to reach maybe students that necessarily aren't in your close proximity, to sort of reach out there and be responsible to your students because they are paying for these events. So by being responsible to them is by reaching out to students uncomfortably, if it may be, standing up in class, doing anything you can. That proves to people that you're doing your job. So yeah, so that's all I want to say.
Senator Bourne.
Last week I was pretty against this just because of the fee increase and those numbers. I do like that they provided the numbers, but I realize not everybody's had a chance to see that. But I do think it's kind of interesting that like the post-secret event was a $10,000 plus budget and 50 students, and also Dream Girls cost $365 and for 14 students. And I realize we've talked about there's a multitude of things that cause one event to be more popular than another, or something that we thought was going to be highly successful and it wasn't. I get it. I understand that. And these events are in the past, so it's not to dwell on that. But I guess for me, it's fewer, bigger, and better is what I would say, because I think it's a matter of trying to serve most students through events that are going to be popular for a majority of students. Having targeting niche markets, I don't think it's effective, and I think that this report especially shows that sometimes certain events that UPC has only attract a small segment of our campus, and if we were to segment our campus into all these small segments and try to reach all of them, our budget would be astronomical. So I would say fewer, bigger, better, and I am in support of this field.
Senator Shalom.
Yeah, I'd like to start by really quick touching on kind of something that I mentioned last week. As a new student enrollment orientation leader this last summer, it's really exciting to talk to new students about UPC and what they do. But that being said, I did have to reach back to Jason Mraz and Kathy Griffin, our last big acts, and that got kids excited. So bringing in new money with this increase to get kids excited again about UPC is the most visible way for students to see their fees going into effect. Not the most visible, but one of the most visible. And with that, I'd also like to give some time to the UPC advisor, Karen Wills.
So we have Aziz Ansari is going to be a big event that's coming, as well as Radio Happy Hours, who's going to feature Eugene Merman of Flight of the Conchords. And both of those events are going to be at the Rococo. The Aziz Ansari is coming out of our contingency budget, so we actually have to charge some money for that because that's non-student fee dollars. It's monies that we've set aside for years and years and years of money that we've made off of concerts. So those tickets are going to be $15 for students, $30 for non-students. And then for Radio Happy Hour, that is an entertainment budget, so we're going to try to do about $5 for students because we do need to pay for the cost of the venue. And then non-students, I believe, are about $15. We discovered that we have quite a bit of money left in our PR budget, so we're planning on spending $3,000 for each of those events on publicity, and that will include 3 billboards around campus, 2 university buses, ads in the Dailier, posters, table tents, handbills, cutouts, kind of like a stand-up cutout by the bakery, so you can see, each of those people just standing there saying, "Hey, come see me." And then banners. That'll be on city and so we really did some research to try to find the most cost-effective bet. The type of publicity that students are going to see and want to say, "Hey, let's go to that UPC event." And we just got a picture, or we got a okay on the billboard that we're going to do for Aziz Ansari. And it's this huge picture of him, the big UPC logo, and it just says Aziz Ansari, Rococo, the date, the time, and where you get your tickets. And I think the locations of the billboards, there's one by Architecture Hall, kind of like the 10th and R. Then there's one at 17th and O. And then there's the one that's at Able Hall, but it's the north side one, not the cool one that you see when you're going. But still, the people that are in Able, that are in Nebraska Hall, anybody that's coming from the Vandy area, will see that one. So that's just more information to share.
Okay, we'll move to Senator Barker. Yeah, tentatively.
And it's not like, and I know you brought up concerns about advertising. We make recommendations for these bills, or does it have to be the senators that carry on would have to remember what?
I'm going to yield that question to Chair Lodi, if that's okay.
Really, we can't mandate exactly how money's spent. We can't do it with any of our fee users. It is going to be in the management letter. I can show you that each year CFA subcommittee members submit management letters updating the committee itself on the past years, like what was expected out of UPC, what they wanted to follow up on, and the ideas of that. That letter itself should be reported on by the fee users themselves in the fall and spring semesters in terms of what they've done in terms of meeting these requirements of CFA. So to your extent, no, they don't. However, costs obviously, I mean, their goal to get money the year afterwards from us will rely on the factor of if they follow along with these bylaws per se.
I'd like to say that I've only been to one UPC concert, and that was just partly because somebody encouraged me to go, but nothing really sparked my interest. And so why I'm so in favor of this is where it gives UPC such like an opportunity to tap into another market and actually just give them a chance to get those users. And I would encourage the next Senate to definitely consider that if this gets passed. Hopefully the advertising and marketing is better.
Thank you, Senator Barker. Sorry that I deflected your question. Senator Peterson.
I'd like to deal with cards and bonds with that, please.
Yeah, I just want to say in response to Senator Doran about targeting niche markets and things. It's definitely something that this increase of $40,000 we won't have to worry about. And all the problem with passing our budget was so constrained. We have goals to